All right, we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order, 6:10 PM. I think that's our most tardiest start
I know.
of the year. Let it be known, the fourth quarter is not our quarter. We'll go ahead and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance in the room. If you're on the line, you can find a flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now, a quick roll call.
Thank you. Chair Lawson,
Here.
Vice Chair Barron,
Present.
Lisa Fry. Okay, she said she would be joining us. She is out of town. Jacqueline Hunt,
Present.
Mike Aguirre,
Present.
Gibson Grove,
Present.
here. And your ex officio this evening is Counselor Mandy Hagedorn. Here. Thank you.
Lisa Fry is logged in, but just no
Okay.
video and no audio.
I
right
see her. There we go.
Yes, I am.
Lisa. Gotcha. Okay, so everybody is present.
All right.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't hear my name, but David, I'm present. Yeah. I think that from my settings here, sorry. Yeah.
Okay, we're ready.
All right, we got a full crew on the line.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get checked in here with the group, but first, with any some public comments submitted via email.
Nothing prior to the meeting.
Okay, anything in the room, any public comment?
Unless you.
We'll save it for the
Okay.
agenda items.
Okay.
Thank you, Cindy. And then any public comment on the line?
No hands up.
Alrighty. We will keep rolling. I'd like to do just a quick around the room, see how everyone's doing this evening as we did last time, so bear with me here. We'll start in the room. Jacqueline, would you mind kicking us off? Red, yellow, green, just statusing how you're doing
Green.
today. Jacqueline's green, she's checked in, she's
Excellent.
ready to go. She
Get her, she's a.
doesn't have a laptop. I don't know why I'm narrating.
Yeah.
Jacqueline's laptop is currently stuck in Best Buy. And then we'll go to the line really quick. Let's start with Amy. Amy, how are you this evening?
I'm doing okay. It could feel better, but I'm present. I would say I'm green.
Awesome. Thank you. And Chris?
Good evening. I'd say I'm a lighter shade of green. I've been in meetings since about 3 o'clock. And yeah, other than that, doing great.
All right, well, thanks for calling in, Chris. David, how are you this evening?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thanks for checking.
And Lisa? Yep, Lisa's gone. Mike, how are you?
Oh, I mean, I'm a yellow to red, just plugging along, doing the best we can.
Yeah. Hang in there, Mike. Let us know if we can do anything for you guys.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Whereas it looks like Lisa's back. Lisa, if you can hear us.
Yes,
How are you?
sorry. Good. I was on an elevator. I am green. I'm doing well.
Excellent. All right. And our ex officio for this evening, just last month, we started a quick around the room, how we're feeling, green, yellow, red for today, if we're checked in or if we're distracted by something that might be going on, just to do a pulse.
I would say I'm green. Thank you for asking. I like that practice.
Awesome, thank you. Bill, Lori, over to you guys, just real quick, how are you this evening? Bill's getting checked.
Green, yellow, red.
What color are you?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I would say I'm a little yellow, a little green. I'm trying to get caught up on everything from being gone from the conference last week and
Good conference
it
though?
was an excellent conference, a great conference, a lot of stuff about public records. storage requests, that, all that kind of stuff about election processes and other things that go along with it. It was an excellent conference, probably the best one I've been to. I've been to 8 of them in my 9 years. My 9-year anniversary was Sunday.
Congratulations.
This was the best one, so yes,
Excellent.
thank you. Who's present?
Somebody put them. Guilty. Oh, all's fine. I'm going tomorrow, downtown Portland for the annual 100th Annual League of Oregon Cities Conference. Tomorrow all day and Friday all day, and then part of Saturday morning. And so with agenda packet going out tomorrow, getting it all done. So almost there today. So all's well.
So thank you, Bill.
Mhm.
I'm green and checked in, our 3.5-month-old, it has been sleeping very well, but last night did not sleep so well, so. I'm a little running on fumes, but we're gonna get through this efficiently and thoroughly this evening. Correct, I'm getting lots of nods around the room on the line, if you can't see it, lots of nods in the room. Let's get started. We'll take a look at last month's meeting minutes for September. We had a few unfinished items that we followed back up on regarding the goals and alignment with city council. That fed into our new business items, so training programs and grants. We discussed some of David's research on different training programs that we could look into to use our internal EDC budget on, as well as how we are going to support the concept planning for the UGB expansion process, as well as agri-hood research that Jacqueline, I know you're leading the project on that front there. So we discussed that a little bit with we'll probably have some time to discuss it a bit more this evening if you'd like to. We had a follow-on item from different URA research in terms of what cities we researched previously, earlier this year, I believe it was, or maybe even last year, on some comparable communities in the area that looked at how they leverage their URAs, different projects that they can focus on to see if we can grab some inspiration from them. We talked downtown plan and business inventory. Lisa was able to help talk us through some of that discussion with the hopes that we can talk through it a little bit more here. I know Lisa was absent last month, so I believe that was last month. So we'll revisit that here in the coming weeks or months as we talk downtown business plan. And then business survey, which we'll talk about tonight. And some specific subcommittee updates with Mike and Chris. And that kind of fed into like a marketing package, which we'll talk about tonight, as well as the city website. Getting resources for potential new businesses that want to come to North Plains, as well as existing businesses. Kind of that toolkit. Any go backs or questions from last month, the month of September? All right, if not, I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
I second.
Thank you. All right, all those in favor of approving September's meeting minutes, say aye.
I
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. All right, we have unanimous approval of September's meeting minutes. We will go ahead and move into October. 10-1. Can't believe it's already October. Yeah, weather sure shows it. Okay, we'll talk a few items. Business survey review. We'll take a look at the marketing follow-up. Mike was able to put together a few different packages for us to look at. We'll talk about webpage, how we can help kind of inject some life into the webpage and what we might be able to help create like a toolkit for new and existing businesses and things like that. Bill, I don't know if we'll discuss in depth, but I wanted to note the Downtown Business Ecosystem Grant. I don't know if the application is the right term, but just that process. And then upcoming commission vacancies we want to touch on. We have a couple coming up at the end of this year.
Well, we don't know about, we have one vacancy we don't know about.
Term expirations, I should say. Okay. And then that'll wrap us up. Okay, so we'll talk business survey. Quick rundown, we created the business survey, partnered with the chamber, initiated that earlier this year. Did not get the response we were looking for. We're gonna, we've been working with the city on creating an economic development commission email so that we can send it out formally through the city and try a different route to gather a bit more data. And so with that, we were trying to take a look tonight at what that survey would look like with it being issued from the EDC email. We would have a different system that we'd be running it through. So let me pull up real quick what that survey would look like. I guess people in the room won't be able to see it per se. So bear with me. I can turn my laptop and just show it to you. The system we would be using is called Qualtrics. It's just an online survey tool that you can feed survey questions and build out various surveys. So what I'm gonna do here is a preview view of the survey. I'll share it. Here, so on the left-hand side is if you were to select into the website or the survey via the link on your desktop, and then on the right, it scrolls along with what you would see on a mobile device. For those in the room, I have a intro built out of just kind of some general housekeeping, the purpose of the survey, what to expect in terms of length and the topics, a confidentiality statement, and then a bit more information just about who to contact if there's any questions. And then from there, it just gets into all the questions that we have already talked through, vetted, et cetera, with the Likert style questions, and then the free-form text options to add a bit more information. So really nothing changed from the survey we issued via the chamber, other than we're trying a different delivery route through the EDC email. Any questions from the group here, or if you want, I can go a little slower through it, but I figured we've hashed it out quite a few times, so.
Eric, only question I have is when are we planning to send this second go out?
If all looks good, then we would just need to figure out the logistics with the email, the EDC email. And really essentially what we would do is generate a link to the survey. Include it just in the body of the email so that anyone receiving the email can just quickly go to the survey. So it really is a pretty quick turnaround as long as we get the email portion correct. So Lori, Bill, with the EDC email coming online, would you like me to just send a draft of what would be sent from that email?
Yeah, so we can do it like a little test run.
Yep.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yep, and then.
Okay, so I'll send that out, and then would the city then help initiate from that email, or would you like the EDC to somehow get access to that and send it.
Right, let me figure out a plan for it because it's goofy how it's a city email address and managed as a city email address versus private resident volunteers
Right,
utilizing what it does.
right.
I think what I would just do is communicate with whoever wants to be the point person on it and then just make sure, we hit the send button on it and we figure out distribution to you. Like,
Okay.
we can figure out a forwarding mechanism.
Right.
On the back end, but.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll go ahead and take the lead on that if everyone's fine, just because I have the access to the survey. Can do that. So I'll work with you, Bill, on drafting up the email we would send out and then actually initiating it.
please do. Mr. Barron has his hand up.
Yes, Mr. Barron.
Yes, if I might be remembering correctly, weren't we going to do some pre-marketing ahead of time to kind of let people know it was coming, so that way we don't get the same survey results or lack of results that we got last time? Kind of what's the game plan instead of just blasting it off to kind of let the community know that it's coming?
Yeah, we talked about posting flyers and doing a bit more, like advertising, for lack of a better term. With QR codes and whatnot that business owners could see. However, I don't know what percentage of the if we're posting a flyer with the QR code for a business survey, what our reach is actually gonna be within the community, like how many people are actually gonna see that are A, business owners, and B, qualify for the survey technically, but we could partner with the city if they'd be open to like an Instagram post, or some sort of, even, I know the chamber's been a huge help, so partnering with the chamber to send out a communication that the survey is coming to their inbox, that sort of thing. Chris, did you have any ideas on that, or?
No, I mean, you're hitting the ones that I would think of. I would say like the water bill, just an announcement that it's coming, the chamber, having them distribute it through their communication channels. It's just, there's a survey coming, possibly with a QR code linking it to there. And then, reaching out to those that manage the community Facebooks and asking them if we can do a post on it as well. I just think that's been the miss with the last go round, is we didn't have responses. So I think more communication to getting people to understand that it's coming and get involved and actually participate in the survey, I think is key. Not just distributing it from a different link, but making sure that enough eyes see that it's coming.
Yeah. Okay, so potentially, looking at social media posts, water bill, I think I heard. We talked about physical flyers and whatnot.
And then too, like, we have a counselor in the room with us tonight. City council has been talking a lot about hearing from the community this year. I think having city council even take up the trumpet and kind of bring it up in a city council meeting that this is coming, that we want people to be engaged and kind of ask for that engagement that that the council's been looking for all year from the community.
Yeah.
Do that word.
Thank you. Okay, good points, Chris. Thank you. Anything else on the survey then? I think we have some good next steps on that. And like I said, I can work with Bill, and then I might loop you and Chris or Mike too, just in terms of like marketing, how we would try to solicit some more participation there. Okay, great. We'll keep moving along then. Next topic, marketing follow-up. Mike was helping put together a few different kind of marketing packages. So Lori shared a few that I can pull up on the line, just so we're looking at the same items here. We have a business customer, or excuse me, business marketing and a customer marketing plan. One to go out to improve local business foot traffic and I guess customer volume, and then the other to attracting new businesses. So I will share both of those. We can start with, I'm going to start with the customer marketing plan. So focusing more on generating business for existing businesses within the city. Mike, did you have anything you want to run through really quick, just at a high level on these?
Yeah, I mean, basically, I've been trying to use more Chat GPT and AI, which I also learned recently that this is not true AI yet. This is just sort of a mega search that is good at kind of bringing together a variety of different points you want to look at. But what I did basically was said, ChatGPT, developed me a marketing plan to attract customers to existing businesses, and it just went through and lined all this out. So I mean, it's kind of scary. There's actually a lot of really good stuff in here. I guess we just need to realize, figure out what's possible, what's in the budget, and what people think of sort of the overall approach that it came up with. I made a few tweaks, and also thank you, Lori, for zhuzhing it up a bit. But yeah, I was pretty happy with some of the results that it came up with.
Lori for you, good at zhuzhing it up. I think this is great. In terms of like execution, is this something we as a EDC would bring forward to the council, for example, on, maybe recommending, paring down the list and recommending just a few tactics or strategies, like if we want to focus on a Shop North Plains campaign, or something more like a partnership community engagement, where we try to develop some of these specific items instead of, I guess, just trying to narrow our scope so that we aren't trying to chase too many trails. Any thoughts there, Mike, on what we could do with this, if it's something you think this group can execute on, or if we would need some support and partnership?
Yeah, I mean, I guess when I looked over it, my first thought was, wow, these are great suggestions and I'd love to do them. But I guess I'm not sure I guess we need to find out what's possible. Can we do these things? Are there groups that we can pair with? Can we start, or do we even want to start? Like, one of the events and experiences was a monthly North Plains night where, is that possible? Do we have the infrastructure? Do we have the setup to even do those things? So I guess my first thought was, okay, these all look great, but which of these things are reasonable and actionable? And then maybe once we figure that out, like you were saying, maybe we focus on just a couple of the things, or the things that are a little bit easier to cherry pick before we get into the meat of some of this stuff.
Right. And from like a timing perspective, obviously we're heading into the dark, cold, damp months. So I'm wondering if we even want to give ourselves enough runway to look into like next spring of trying to launch one of these things. So like using the next couple meetings to identify which of these we think would be a good area of focus, and then from there, like talking through logistics of actually initiating. Like if it's a North Plains night, we could, I don't know, say host it at Cup-O-Yo, for example, and have a North Plains night. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Frozen yogurt.
Would it be No Way Wednesday or not?
Not on No Way Wednesday.
Okay.
That's its own event.
Okay.
Rightfully so.
Great. Make sure.
Mhm.
I wonder if there is
something in December that's already happening, like the jingle.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's an event here. There's one at the senior center. There's one at St. Edward's. And if that were wrapped with, and you could stop by Pilgrims and pick up your gift basket, and you could stop by Cup of Vio and get your stocking stuffers. Because people know to come to one of those things, but I have heard people say, well, I didn't know that I could also go to this other thing and then, you know, stop by and pick up your Christmas tree. Here's 5 Christmas tree farms. And take something that is already happening and just
Build on it.
build on it. Is that an opportunity, Lisa, you're on the line to engage, for the city to engage the North Plains Events Association in a new way? Like we talked about infrastructure, infrastructure and a relationship between the city and the Events Association. I have to say, I don't really understand the inner workings of that relationship.
Well, let me take it to the MPEA at our next meeting and see what kind of ideas and we can come up with, and I'll bring them back to EDC.
And I mean, it could be spitballing here that the North Plains Events Association pitches city council that for X amount of dollars, we can run this social media account, cover this many businesses, and make an ask that would cover their expenses and do a pilot.
So are you thinking more the EDC makes a proposal, or that the MPEA come up with a proposal?
It's almost like a proposal that might ultimately be settled by them with the idea that the EDC would help execute it. Like your idea, Jacqueline, I was thinking would align well with like the shop local passport program of like you have a passport for some holiday event.
Yeah.
Where you have a map of like Christmas tree farms and
Yeah.
things like that, where it should be pretty low calorie effort, but like just actually coordinating that whole thing is what we could partner on.
I'd be happy to think with you on it, Lisa.
Yeah, and just to throw out, I think we are doing a gingerbread contest this year with the Jingle Parade at the Jesse Mays. So regardless, it may be a good advertising venue for whatever we come up with. So yes, let's coordinate on that.
It could be all on one day, or here are the things going on in the month of December,
Mhm.
visit North. And there's a reason to come here every weekend for something, and I don't know where all the events land.
Yeah.
Well, and there is a craft fair
Like a
too
bazaar.
here, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you could, I mean, when you think about the businesses, Pilgrims is a good one, Robinsons, they do wreaths and stuff, and Bertoni's does bottled wine, and I mean, and Pilgrims is always good, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that idea, like I'm gonna keep going back to this passport, but like,
Yep,
if you go to these businesses, you buy a wreath from Robinsons, you buy a bottle of wine or 6 from Bertoni, you like hit these stops. We would have some type of like incentive program.
Right.
Just something.
you stop at Blackwater and get,
Mm-hmm.
2 cups of coffee and some hot chocolate.
Eggnog.
Yeah, or eggnog, or, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
when you stop and think about it, there are
Yeah.
more than a couple businesses that, would fit into that kind of.
Yeah,
I like it.
okay, I think I hear a subcommittee growing between Lisa and Jacqueline. But it's just 2, Bill. There's just
Yes.
2 of them. It's under 4,
Under 4.
so don't tell us about
And then
anything.
and then don't talk to anybody else about
Yeah,
Huh?
We're looking at that.
not looking. Okay. You might have missed, Bill gave us quite the tongue lashing.
I listened to the minutes and I previously read you can't accept water, so I'm on board. Understand.
Chris has had his hand up.
Oh, yes, Mr. Barron.
Hey, yeah, this kind of like the idea of events and stuff, it reminds me of like some of the chambers will do business after hours. They usually do it like once a quarter. they'll highlight a business. I think it's kind of taking that idea, but then building it more into community engagement and going beyond just one business, but maybe getting a group of them together. That the cadence that they do those in is typically quarterly, and it's been successful. I think of like the Washington County Chamber and then the Beaverton Chamber. They'll usually do that about once a quarter, and they'll have about 100 to 150 people show up at just one location. But I think if we were to do it like a business after hours, partner with the chamber, partner with the events committee, and then highlight more than one, because we're a small enough town that you can walk to one to the other. But yeah, I think these are fun events that bring the community out.
Yeah. I think ideal state, yeah, would be quarterly. We could obviously have more of like the holiday than the summer, springtime, fall. Like it kind of the nature of our businesses almost like lend themselves to the various seasons. So I think that would be ideal. So we can, you know, pilot it for a season or whatever we think is best, whether it be like the holidays, if that's not too quick of a turn, and then maybe look at summer as well. But this is good. These are good ideas. Okay, I'm gonna jump over then to more of the marketing campaign. So attracting new businesses to the city. A lot of it gets into like what we could potentially put together for, we've talked about like a brochure or a one pager that could be sent to potential or prospective businesses that are looking for areas to establish themselves in. So kind of using this maybe as a jumping off point, Mike, on like, okay, here's what we can start as a framework and then build out everything to help attract businesses. So like search engine optimization, LinkedIn ads, a lot of like very tangible things that we could work on. I think as a group, we decided that would be almost like secondary to trying to revitalize or support existing businesses, like start there first and then work on some of this stuff. But
Yeah, what I really liked about this bit was the digital presence business landing page section. I know we've kind of talked about, you know, the website and improving it. I really dug the points of, you know, available commercial industrial properties, incentives, the interactive map, and especially the testimonials from existing businesses. Have we ever done something like that?
I'm hoping the survey will lend itself. So part of the survey, we talked with the chamber, like a phase 2 would be going out and meeting with the businesses. Once we get a bit of data back. So I would presume or hope we could get some good testimonials just in that interaction.
Well, those would be kind of cool to have little video clips. I mean, sometimes people, you know, business owners or anybody doesn't necessarily want to be videotaped, but it could be interesting to have little snippets of, you know, video testimonials where people are maybe staying in front of their business, talking about why it's good to be here. You could even add humor if you want, or just keep it strictly business, but something a little more interactive, like a video testimonial potentially.
On just adding on to that, I had taken the homework assignment a couple of meetings ago to compare our website to others.
Mhm.
That document is at Best Buy right now, and but just adding on, I think there is opportunity on our website. And there might be levels of investment thing. An interactive map and a video might be, you know, a subsequent stage, but I think we have like a little easy low hanging fruit. Where were we on our marketing person? Therese, I got there with the T. Therese in wanting to make an investment already and getting momentum.
I think my understanding is she was kind of waiting for something to look like more serious draft content, or if there were kind of bullet points that we didn't feed into Chat GPT, you know, and kind of bulk up or whatever.
Yeah,
But I think she was waiting to help us deliver the content. I don't know that she was, I don't know that she thought she was helping write it, I guess. Is the bottom line. So if that's a communication gap, then we can resolve that. But-
no, I think hearing that, hey, there's a resource, and if you get your act together, team, and get content, that there's someone who could make that go. I
Yeah.
don't know that I remember that was where we're at, and that could be an opportunity to take that piece.
I mean, I think,
Push
yeah,
it
there's
forward.
opportunity to flesh out the EDC website on the city page, and so. You know, that would kind of be the platform for it, and she's, you know, she and Lori, and Rowan for that matter.
Yep.
Now are fully trained up on modifying, you know, improving the website, so.
So as long as we have the content, the framework of what we would want to see, we could
Mhm.
partner with.
Yeah, I mean, I think when the time comes, she'll be super, I mean, she used to do this in other types of communication for I believe it was the Port of Vancouver, but I think she had, you know, the Port of Vancouver has a whole department or division, a department within a division that works on the materials. And then, you know, she gets it out there. So I think it's kind of, and it's port specific stuff, so it's not necessarily exactly say what, you know, a small city would be doing or have available to it. So there's definitely some interaction that continues to need to happen so that you get where you want to be ultimately with the content behind it.
Sure. Yeah.
So what would the homework assignment look like?
I think the way I interpret it is like the action would be to build out the actual content of what we
Yeah.
would want to see on the EDC's website. Whether it be a lot of this information, so like some of the core brand positioning section here, where we elaborate on the benefits, or if that's just a subsection, you know, we have different, we talked about toolkits for starting a business in North Plains, like different helpful links and tips and tricks and whatnot for new and existing businesses. I think that would take more time to, at least for me, I'm not familiar with, you know, information that would be helpful for existing businesses, you know, here's how you set up your water bill and what have you, things like that, but,
I'm wondering, Mike, what you think about, I mean, I'm happy to draft some content. That's one of your superpowers, I think. And over the next couple of months, look at that while the survey results come back so that we're leveraging any insights.
Yeah,
it all leads back to the survey. That's a good idea, though, to try to use that data to look at any trends and feedback we're getting on challenges that businesses would have had. And then you know, in addition to that, would we want the EDC website to be like a one-stop shop for new and existing businesses? So like we would have maybe just two subpages or two sections of new businesses. Here's, you know, the competitive advantage of doing business in North Plains versus anywhere else in the county or the state, as well as here are some resources to get started with the city. And then we would have a separate subsection or subpage of, if you're an existing business, here are some resources and things to help with. I think that seems like an intuitive way to approach it. And I think we would need, some more time to vet both of those sections, like what content we would actually be putting in there, so.
And know how much industrial land Banks has available?
Banks,
Yeah.
I mean, that can be discovered, I think, didn't they add the lumber mill that ended up closing, and so that's just their industrial land now, or something along those lines? And then they rezoned some to, anyway, we can find that out.
I'm kind of curious. Cause they're, adding all those houses, and if we end up doing this advertising to come here and do this, but we don't have any land, and like our neighbor right down the freeway does, what's
Yeah.
gonna happen?
So about 10 years ago, I helped them with a industrial land ad. And it was mostly just to add some more land for an existing mill that has since closed, add sufficient land to grow their operations and have a dry place to put lumber that was out drying.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, they were also working on converting some land from industrial to residential. That was 10 years ago, but the way time passes on land use is very slow. I don't think it's changed much probably. But we can check that. I don't think I think Banks is where North Plains was in 2002. It's adding a bunch of, there's some industrial land, just some. But they're adding a ton of residential land. And in 20 years' time, they're gonna find that, whoa, they should have thought about employment land too. So I can check and verify, but I'm pretty sure there's not much.
So I don't know that it changes what we do, it's just recognizing that who's ever shopping here is shopping a market and understanding the market dynamics people are shopping in.
Yeah.
Just seems like would be worth the quick exercise so we understand our ecosystem.
So that's a good segue. Cindy Hurst is here. She shared a Banks, let me see if I have it.
Oh, yeah, that's right, you did.
Essentially like an independent analysis was done regarding a retail market study. I'll share, essentially what I did was took the study, had my good friend AI summarize it for us. And Cindy's been working with Cindy, do you mind reminding me what Joe's last name is that you can?
Yes,
And
excuse me just a minute. Yes, so the city of Banks, it's a market assessment of it's a retail market study is what they did. And it's not, I'm looking at it, not that we need this particular study, okay? But I spoke with Joe Lagarza. He's with, find the name, Healthy Sustainable Communities. And Bill, I guess you know Joe, have known Joe for a long time. At least he knows you. Anyway, so they, if you look at their website, they do a lot of different things. Urban renewal, they could look at specifically the downtown revitalization. They could look at retail, they could look at industrial, they could look at whatever you want to have done for some economic advancements here. And he said he would be happy to chime in at any of your meetings and talk about what they do.
Okay.
Okay, so what the city of Banks did, I thought it was great. I thought the information in here was really good. And, I'd like to see some information about North Plains like this, but I'm not sure we need the retail market study. I think we need something a little bit different. So, I just would like for you to entertain that. The the chamber would like to do something like this, but it doesn't have a lot of money. Okay, we had a chamber board meeting last night, and it was suggested that maybe the URA can do something along this line with the downtown revitalization and whatever else is going on. So, you know, that's a city thing. But when you get to a point where you would, if you want to do some kind of a study, the chamber would be interested in participating a little bit financially. I mean, we can't do a lot, but we'd like to do a little bit and help promote that. So, but I have a copy here, and if you want to send it out to everybody else. But if you look at the website for Healthy Sustainable Communities, they're located in Wilsonville. And urban renewal, economic development, business recruitment and retention, community development services. And again, maybe this is a Glencoe opportunity area thing that you can look at, that they can focus on. So it's an outside company that can look holistically, or they can focus on something. So,
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
That's all I have to say about that at the moment.
All right, no, that's, I mean, I think it would be a good opportunity at least to learn a bit more in terms of, we've talked about like workshops, guest speakers, training sessions, things like that.
Okay, well, let me go on. Like I said, we had a board meeting last night and there were several things that came up. First of all, and I know that, Chris texted this to me, but I had also seen it. The 4th annual West Side Small Business and Workforce Open House. That's going to be November 5th. We want to make sure that all the businesses get something like this. So we're going to print copies and we're going to take them around. I mean, personally. Going by email, you know, half the businesses won't really see it, but we want to take it to them personally. Okay, so that's one thing that we're going to do. So just to encourage them. The other thing was, we talked last night about marketing workshops, 1-hour workshops. People can come in, 101 marketing. And by that, we have so many small businesses, and those business owners don't have in-depth marketing skills. I'll just give you an example, was when we did the Garlic Festival and the Spin the Wheel. I don't know if all of you spun the wheel or saw it, but we were asking businesses for a coupon so that people could win a coupon and go inside their business. And we got a lot of pushback. Oh, coupons, they're gonna cost money. Well, yeah, but you get somebody to cross your threshold. I mean, those are the kind of things that small business owners don't think about. So we are looking for someone who can come and do some small business workshops for marketing. Maybe a string of 2, 3, 4 of them. I don't know.
Cindy, if I might, were these businesses who you found to be, not
Reluctant.
not overly welcome to the idea?
Reluctant, yes.
Were they, would you say that the concentration of them were downtown or on Glencoe, or kind of, where would you say they were located?
Kind of both.
Okay.
I actually, you know, I sent out an email to strictly the retail businesses asking for these weeks in advance. Never got any reply from any of them. And so I had to go market this thing, took the wheel with me and said, this is what we're going to do. And they really appreciated that I came by and showed them what it was we were going to do. I designed the coupons for them. They told me what they wanted. I did it. And, you know, it was a success.
The wheel was great.
Yeah, it was a great success and people loved it. They were lining up to spin that wheel.
Yeah.
So, you know, just to get somebody across your threshold.
Yeah.
And I think it's the repeat business that we want, of course. But people, oh, where's this? Where's this? We had a lot of people from the city. Where's this?
Yeah.
So, so it's the marketing thing. The other piece to that is I found today, let's see, it's been 15 months ago. The chamber, signed up with a company called Chamber Nation for a website, okay? And they put out, a new program. And, I just saw it today, and it's called Bringing Local Back. And so I haven't read the whole thing, but I did pick out one item, and I'd just like to read this one quick paragraph. It's an innovative platform designed to empower communities and their businesses in revitalizing local communities and enhancing community bonds. And it's a program that it can run through the chamber. It doesn't have to be a chamber member to sign up. So I'm gonna look into it. But it kind of goes along the lines of what you were talking about with the website and so forth. And this is advertising in one place. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
what
Yeah,
you touched on earlier with the marketing 101
Right.
section, we've talked about that too, specifically around like social media marketing.
uh-huh,
Trying to use some of our EDC budget to bring in a social media consultant to just do some type of workshop. So that's another area where like. we
well,
can-
I know a couple people who would be thrilled to come in and just tell people how to use Instagram, how to use, whatever, and they volunteered. So, that's where we're going to go. But now that you're interested in that, then we'll work with you, on that. So the other thing that came to my attention today was Jesse Hansen. Eric Hansen owns, Hansen, Contracting. She sent me an email today that she has set up a Facebook page called North Plains Business.
I saw that.
And I went to it and there's not much on it, so I need to talk to her to kind of find out what it is she wants to put on there. So, but that's today again. I mean, all these things coming all together. And I don't know if any of you have been, on the chamber website and taken a look at a business. Somebody talked about a landing page. We have landing pages. They're free for chamber members, absolutely free. And, for $100 a year, they can have their website on our website. They can sell. You can have a whole store on there, and it doesn't cost a dime for them. So that's something that we kind of need to push a little bit for those smaller businesses. They're trying to do Instagram and Facebook and website and all of that. We can do that all within our website. So those are things that we can talk to them about. One of the issues that we had, was that our businesses, especially our small business owners, don't know where to go to ask questions. Okay, so example, I went into a business a couple of weeks ago and chatted with the owner. And he explained, that he can't do this because of the city code. Okay, told him, I said, okay, I'll find out. And so I went to Stuart, who's on the chamber board. I said, what, Stuart? And he came back very clear why something couldn't be done, but how they could think about it differently. So we're working with that business, but I've had several of them do that.
So Stuart explained the code to them and they,
Yes, he explained why the business owner couldn't do what the business owner wanted. But Stuart also explained possibly what you could do within the code.
would Stuart like a job at the city?
Well, Stuart, he knows that code almost backwards and forwards. I think you could say it in his sleep. But those are the kind of things that we need to tell small business. come to the city, come to the EDC, come to the chamber. If you even have a small question, and I think they're afraid to do that because they're small business owners, one person, two person in the business. So, I also want to follow up on, was it Chris that talked about the, quarterly business, after hours businesses that the chamber is doing? We want to get those small business people together so they can network and understand and talk about their issues. So, you know, and that's gonna take a little more effort on everybody's part. But we will invite you to the next one, which I think will be at the Road, because they've redone everything, so, yeah. And the last thing that I just wanted to mention, it was, somebody mentioned testimonials. I don't know if any of you attended, Mayor Lenahan's State of the City in 24, but she had some businesses on there with testimonials. So those were quick video clips. I don't know if you remember those, Bill.
Yeah, sort of. Andy
Yeah,
was the one.
one was, you know, one of the new businesses, one was an older business and so forth. So, you know, you've already got some right there to start with. And anything that you think you want to do on the city website for businesses, we can do that on our website. The city has its own landing page on there. We can add anything you want on there. Okay, I mean, when we say landing page, everybody gets a landing page and a catalog, but you can add more pages on there. Okay, so there you go. Okay. So you fed right into my meeting from last night.
It's like we knew.
Yeah, so, but I want to explore the two things, that I mentioned. The centralized business community, bringing the local back. I want to explore that myself, and then will provide you with some information. And then also learn a little bit more from Jessie Hansen, what she was planning on the Facebook page. I just knew about those today, so I don't know a lot. Okay.
Okay. Thank you for being here, Cindy. Any
Yeah.
questions for Cindy in the room, or?
David has his hand up.
David has his hand up. Yes, David.
Thank you. This is not a question for Cindy. I wanted to ask whether the marketing strategy document, are we going to keep it on agenda at our next meeting? Because this is the first time some of us are seeing it, so we can review and provide feedback at the next meeting.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I don't know the mechanics of it, but I can send it to Lori and she can help issue out the bank's market retail study.
Yeah, I can send it to Lori and yeah.
And that way we can.
And now I don't think this is their whole study. Because they don't have,
I didn't hear you well.
yeah, but we might want to contact the city of Banks and see if this was only a part of a study.
Okay,
Because there aren't any citations in here, there's nothing on here of who did it, and that's why I think it's a piece of.
okay,
Okay, so, let me do that, Lori, and then I'll get you the full one, okay?
Yep.
All right.
thank you.
And, small business workforce, like I said, the chamber wants to go around to businesses, so if you want some copies of this and you know you're going into Cuckio, sorry, Amy, and you can talk to the business owner and say, hey, might be something good for you.
Yeah.
So, I do that as I go around to the community, so.
Great,
Okay, any help is appreciated,
of course.
okay? All right,
Thank you.
anything
Thanks
else?
for being
Any
here.
questions? Okay, oh,
So anyone on the line?
okay,
Mr. Chairman, I didn't hear your feedback well to my initial question.
Oh, we're gonna send out the bank's retail market analysis to the EDC so that we can review it and we can visit it in more detail next month.
Oh, okay. Okay, thanks.
And, Mr. Lagarza said he would be happy to join you on Zoom at any time to answer questions.
Okay.
Give you some guidance, whatever. So, he's happy to do that. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll get that contact to you and to Lori, so
Great, thank you, Cindy.
anything else?
I think that was it, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Good to see you all.
Good to see
Well, I'm sorry, I can't see those online, but next time.
They look great, don't worry. So that kind of captured a lot of what we wanted to talk, marketing follow-up rather than you. So if we're set there, we'll revisit a couple of the items next month just to hash out some of the details. But I would like to move to item D, the Downtown Business Ecosystem Grant application. Bill, I can pull up an email that you had shared with the group here.
Yeah, right before the meeting.
Okay, I have the attachment up.
Excellent, okay, well. So, on Monday, the 19th of September, or excuse me, Monday, the 20th, 21st, 22nd, whatever. We joined Colpack, in being a small, being one of the small downtowns, as part of their grant application for what a Business Oregon has a grant program I'm less familiar with called the Return on Investment grant program. And usually it has to do with technology and innovation, but Colpack, which is the Columbia Pacific Economic Development District. And I should have Sarah Lou come in and talk to you all just to kind of say hi, and you can meet her, but you know, there's Oregon and we're kind of here near the thumb, and then there's the thumb. Okay, well, Colpack is the federal ECDEV district, federally recognized economic development district for all of Northwest Oregon, the thumb of Oregon, which is primarily, of course, Columbia, Clatsop, and Tillamook counties. But for whatever historical reason, there's just that little bit of Washington County that includes Forest Grove, Banks, Gaston, Cornelius, and North Plains. And which is nice because we actually have double federal economic development district representation because we're also in Washington County, which means we're part of the Portland Metro ECDEV district. Now, do we get any attention or cooperation from them? But Colpack all over the place. They really would like to get North Plains involved in more. And frankly, Colpack's the one that called me, I want to say late November, mid-December, early December, and said, "Hey, Bill, we still have some money in this EPA Brownfield grant assessment program. And we remembered you have a brownfield program. Would you like to just apply, we'll pay Stantec to apply for some money with the EPA if you'd like." I'm like, "If you're paying for it, sure. Okay, whatever, you know." And then boom, in May, we got an EPA brownfield grant. Of course, we have the federal shutdown, so who knows when we're gonna hear about final approval for it. But Colpack was the agent of reaching out and letting us be a part of their ongoing EPA brownfields process. And that was a very successful, if not fast, response thing. Same thing here. They're going to apply for, in a different program than usual, a grant to kind of help some downtown business ecosystem in rural and semi-rural cities in their district, in the thumb of Oregon. And this letter I sent out to you just kind of gets into some of the language of it. And I think it's a little bit malleable. I think it's wet clay in terms of what the scope of work would be ultimately with this grant, because it is a bit different in terms of how what's being pitched. I don't know that Colpack will get the grant. I don't know. Speculative. However, I think what we've been missing regarding downtown and businesses in North Plains, from my perspective, after being here a few years, is we have a lot of really great intentions and a lot of really great pushes on efforts that are all related to the economy in North Plains, whether it's a downtown plan, or whether it's the Glencoe Opportunity Area and now a Brownfield grant, or whether it's the chamber getting a brand new overhaul of a website that is way more capable than it used to be and can do way more. But we're like, we seem to, and then we're talking about a retail study. And I think kind of we have a lot of just really active ingredients, but like, we don't have a recipe. You know what I mean? And so, I think that this grant, at least for downtown, if Colpac gets it, I think we can kind of map out how all these different parts people have been working on might fit together and maybe get us lined up for funding that can kind of really put the support behind some of the things that you all have been talking about for a while. For instance, I told Sarah Lou with this grant, one thing we want to do is have some funding and assistance to just, let's get the downtown association going, because there's hundreds of thousands of dollars that we could probably pretty quickly get access to, because North Plains has been sitting on the sidelines with the Oregon Main Street Association and all of the funding that the state throws at that entity, and even the federal money that is still awarded, because we just don't have a downtown association that like puts us at this level of membership in the Oregon Main Street Association. And if we're here as an interested party, but until we have a downtown association with a 501c3 with 501c3 registered with the state and bylaws that are already written, and then people on that board, we can't jump up to this level of membership and by law qualify for all this money that it will be beyond time for it to be our turn to get. And some of that will be for building refurbishment so that the URA doesn't have to pay for it. And some of it will be for strategy and planning for growing the downtown business core. And some of it could be for studies and this and that and the other. And there are a bunch of different things, including feasibility and for downtown or Glencoe, market studies that the URA can help pay for, that's for sure. But like, there are things where if we just leverage, then there are these resources that the city's URA doesn't have to pay for anymore, and it's state and maybe sometimes even federal money. And I think that if we get the grant, we can scope it to be a bit more of we need a recipe for all these things we've been trying to do, and then get us on the path for continuous next step funding for each of these things, so that it's not just the city and the local community trying to do it. So that's what this is about.
Is it, and this is somewhat related, but the URA budget, is there a reason we like wouldn't want to use that over like a grant like this? Like, are we trying to save the URA budget for specific projects that we haven't been able to act on, and so this would help us just pin that to other projects?
Well, it's doing things with other people's money, which means we can do more different things with our own money. That isn't to say, the money in the URA is for doing things, but really the money in the URA is really supposed to be to affect taxable assessed value put in place, like development, construction, adding taxable assessed base. Because at the end of the day, the key to the URA is the fire, TVF&R, and Hillsborough School District, and Washington County, and all these other entities that would be getting tax revenue in our urban renewal district portion of our city. They're giving it up because they have agreed to let our city, our URA, create development and taxable assessed value that would be created with the URA that wouldn't happen otherwise. And so that at the end of the day, they have a higher tax base also. And so, getting the state or other resources to help pay for studies and this, that, and the other lets us put more money into the grants that help the local business put in a refrigerator in their kitchen, or help them put in a this or that, that sort of thing. Like money put in place locally, rather than just paying a consultant from outside the city to do something.
Right.
So it's that idea.
Okay. So in terms of like action regarding this grant, is it mostly a kind of FYI, like if we were to get a grant like this body would help get the recipe put together?
I think somebody from this body or this body would be part of kind of the public involvement process in that
Okay,
in some capacity.
Right.
But again, I think we would scope it. There will be a time to come to very specifically scope what happens.
okay. Yeah, in terms of timeline, do you know when you'll hear on any of that?
My guess is that grant winners will be decided probably sometime in November, and then by January 1, we'll have a set idea.
Okay,
If Colpack gets it and we're part of it.
right,
But we would be part of it as if Colpack does get the grant.
okay. It's exciting, lots of opportunity just with where we're at.
Yes.
And anatomically, for those on the line, I'm holding up my hand, where within the thumb?
What is, I have the Alaska map and I have the Oregon map, so what do you want?
Michigan doesn't similar.
There you go.
Any questions for Bill or team on the program? All right, thanks, Bill. Appreciate that. Okay, last item, upcoming commission vacancies slash end of term expiration. So we know our vice chair Barron his term is expiring in December and he will not be re-upping his term or volunteering to re-up his term. So we will have one vacancy for certain. And then I think, is it Jacqueline whose term is up at the end of this year?
I did read that in the minutes.
Yeah, just found out about it. So Jacqueline, you don't have to answer right now, but we can discuss if you're willing to re-up your term and what that would look like so that we can determine how many vacancies we would have going into 2026.
I will say, it feels like we're finally getting some cooking, like momentum is building.
Yeah, so it's time to go.
Perfect time to get on the off ramp with me.
So yeah, we obviously would love if you continued on with us. So I don't know in terms of like formal decision, do we try to do it? For example, if a term is expiring end of December, do we try to solidify whether or not that term is extended before it actually expires?
Yes,
So in December is when we would.
ideally, I would like to know by the end of November so
Okay.
that we can get it on a council. December.
Gotcha.
Can you send me information about what extension looks like?
Sure.
Like what the activity would be required?
Basically, you just fill out an application again, and request to be reappointed, and then it goes before council and they decide, and in the past, it's been an automatic, but this council has chosen sometimes to say, no, we'd like to open it up. It's up to them.
Okay.
As council, and in your case, yours is one of the two that are can be out of the city limits, so.
Well, Mandy, I want to point out, I took 2 homework assignments today, not even knowing that.
You got extra gold stars.
Let the record reflect,
My active participation.
or at least 2 more months.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. Okay, that was our last item here. So any, go backs or other topics the group wants to discuss here before we adjourn?
I wouldn't mind making a few agri-hood comments without getting deep into it, and mostly I want to pick up on something that Cindy got Mandy to look at that she showed me that might just make a really nice connection that I forwarded to you and Lori to maybe share with the group. So the concept that we're interested in pursuing is an agri-hood like, where we look at the property to the north, where we have the asset of the Lind Reservoir. And the idea actually came from my niece and her husband, who represent 2 legacy farming members in the community. and one that actually ran an agritainment business there that did drive a business in North Plains, and one that runs a community garden that like sustains some of the senior center. And the idea of bringing that experience together to run some sort of agricultural related community program there that would have an agriculture theme and celebrate that heritage, but would be for the purpose of social good and helping small businesses. It would not run as an for-profit business. And what I think is really great is Mandy just showed me a website of the company that did the bank's assessment. And they talked about where often organizations go wrong. Lisa and I talking about, let's see what's going on in December and getting people to come to tree farms, but not actually connecting that to the city. So we are thinking about a business model and with Bill's help seeking grants to get a self-sustained agri-hood proposal that would blend agriculture and residential and community offerings in big community spaces that would also drive social programming. And so what I'd love to do is have people, I mean, that was just a great website, so thanks for sharing that. We've looked at many agri-hoods and found them uninspiring for the purposes that we're seeking. They may have built houses. They may have a community garden that brings produce to people's houses. We find that uninspiring. So we are headed to Phoenix, and I spent some time with that group today getting prepared, and they're really excited about the positive influence it's had in the community and the community connections it's driving and the work that their foundation is doing. So I think I'd like to continue to seek some grant support to develop the model, but to go see, before we talk about it here, go see one example where it's actually driving good business. Maybe call the company that Cindy just referenced to see what research is behind that site I just shared, because it's pretty superficial, but there's really good learnings in there, it seemed like to me, about things that would be easy to do that most people don't think to do, or most small towns don't think.
Yeah.
So I think it's a program that could keep our small town feel, develop park and rec, drive small businesses. And if you looked at my application for this committee, I don't know how many years ago, Lori, it'll tell you my background is population health. And so that's what I'm really interested in personally. And if we can create small businesses that flourish, that do that, then for me, that's a home run. So I would like to continue to develop that. And I would like the thoughts of this group as it relates to small business. Because as that website points out, you could do a lot of social good and do harm to locals, that, hurt our local farmers or set up competition. And I think that's not what we're trying to do. So I'd love the perspective of this as we develop the idea.
Awesome.
So more to come.
Thank you. Yeah, I think the group has showed a lot of interest in learning more about it, seeing how we can help with that effort. Just better educating, at least for myself, I'd like to better educate myself so that we can learn how we can best partner on it and help with that effort. Thank you. All right, and our ex officio this evening, any words of wisdom for us before adjourning?
It's 7:29. Pleasure. I have lots of great things I've heard tonight. I'm looking forward to learning more about the developments on the agri. It's fascinating. The marketing plans are exciting as well too. So I myself was thinking about all the exciting things that could happen in the holiday season and what that pilot will be really cool. So it's something that we all should look forward to.
Yeah, I agree.
Good work. Very good work.
Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Bill, Lori, anything from your end before we? Oh, Bill's got something. Hold on.
I always have something.
Okay.
Potentially at the second meeting in October, or maybe as a result of it for city council. We're going to be working on ideas and parameters for new and different types of incentive programs with the URA. Like right now, we have the food service tenant improvement program. But you know, but we don't always, we don't only have to be trying to help new food service, we can be doing other things. And most of the applicants for that have been new businesses to town. We have one that is inquiring about, well, if they do new and different types of food in the establishment they already have, it, you know, could it help pay for the things that it would take in their kitchen to do that? And the answer to that is yes. It wasn't meant to be a new restaurant program only. But there are other types of businesses in town that, you know, council might want to try to foster that have extraordinary costs. And so we'll probably be more formally coming back and saying, what do you think about? You know, that sort of thing.
Okay.
So stay tuned.
And then presumably the EDC would help with like grant application reviews and things like that.
That'll be my recommendation to council, because it's just kind of that extra screen. It's not,
Yeah.
you know, it's not just me saying, here you go, $50,000. You know what I mean? It's getting good questions from people who, you know, have studied in are active in trying to foster business and are in business themselves. And so, I mean,
You guys did a good job.
you've done a good job, you know, asking really good questions of businesses. You know, and my recommendation is that something like that would continue with the Newlands. Yeah, because we don't want to just throw 50,000 or whatever money it is away, because the business isn't for real.
Right.
I mean, you know, so I think that part of the screening process, that part of the that final hurdle
Yeah.
is an important one,
Yeah.
I think.
And if there's other ways we can help partner too, like in the development of the grant application or things like that, just let us know.
Yeah, so we don't have to do things exactly like as we have with that process. That
Right.
can be different, but I think, you know, I think council's very much interested in, you know, kind of exploring more targeted ways, you know,
Yeah.
with URA resources. And so it's kind of just being a little creative but knowing that part of it works really well.
Yeah.
You know, you have community investment, interest in asking questions.
Yeah. Great. Thanks, Bill. Okay, anything else? Last call. Okay, we'll go ahead and adjourn 7:33 PM. Thanks everyone for your time tonight. Hope everyone feels better, those that aren't feeling too good. If you get home safely, if you're traveling on the road right now. And have a good night.
Bye.
Thanks,
Night, everyone.
bye.
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 I go, and I have to go ahead and the